people are very much talking about the International Yoga Day. Many of them are even celebrating this day as a day of yoga. Rather, much importance to be given for yoga in that understanding this is being celebrated. Of course, there are many other rumors which have been going on about why suddenly this day is dedicated for practicing yoga. In fact, every day we have to do yoga. But all of a sudden this day is propagated so much. So some rumors are there that, of course, from the political angle, some backbiting is going on, that this is being propagated to influence general mass of people to accept Hinduism. This is what some classical people are saying. The current ruling party, the Prime Minister, has taken the lead. So with a different motto, like that, some people have. But anyway, without getting into the details of the reason of why it is being done, today I just thought we will discuss about what is this yoga is, why much importance is given for yoga. So today we will just take a look at these things. This is dedicated to Srila Prabhupada based on his teachings. Today in short we will discuss about, is there a need of practicing yoga? Second, the real meaning of word yoga. The third, the purpose and the goal of yoga. Fourth, what are the different yoga systems which are there? And the fifth, the best yoga system for this age. So number one, why is it necessary to practice yoga? In fact, this age is called as a jet age. Life is in a very fast lane. Everybody is very eager to move forward or achieve success. Generally we see whenever we travel, if little, when we are traveling in traffic, if there is a little traffic jam, little, if somebody parks in front of you, suddenly so many people will be, putting horn or trying to overtake him. So the idea here is that everybody wants to move faster. Or on the other side, if you look at every field in this world, if you look at technology, is growing day by day. Few years back, if you look at the communication aspect, Gone all those days where people used to write inland letters, postal card, trunk call booking. All those things are, if you tell the new boys who are there, very small kids, if you tell this is how we used to call, they will laugh. The other day I had gone to one shop to speak to one person. A 4th standard kid came to the mobile shop and the girl is asking, "Sir, which is the latest phone which has come?" 10 years. Sorry, I was surprised the girl is asking small, 4th standard, 5th standard. No, he was saying Samsung, some new thing has come. Now she opened it from her own pocket, one mobile phone. Oh God, the exchange offer you tell. Already the girl was having, Samsung S4 or something. So technology is advancing and people want to get updated with the latest things. So any field, if you take medical field, the new gadgets are coming. So life is very fast. People are, running. Now if we have to give a very simple example why there's a need to practice yoga. Which card is this? Very easy. Suppose everybody here are blessed with a Benz car. May Lord bless all of you. Okay. Or even an ability to have. It's okay. Suppose if you own a Benz car, now just because I own a Benz car does not give me an opportunity to use the car the way I want. I cannot put the fuel which I like the most to the Benz car. I cannot put as many people as I like, but I can put in the Benz car and take them. I cannot ride the car at the speed which I want. There is a limit there. So just to extend the same example, if we compare this Benz car to a body, just because we have owned this body does not give rise to use this body the way I want. Does not give a chance for me to take the food which I like the most. I cannot use this body according to my whims and fancies. Now what happened was, when people started using this body according to their whims and fancies, that's where the problem came. Just like if you use the card according to your own whims and fancies, the problem will come. You cannot make use of such a wonderful vehicle which you have. So what happened was, or what's happening in today's world is that people started using this body according to their desires. And that led to many, many repercussions, a lot of diseases. 10 years back, many diseases were not heard of. Today, all those diseases are there. New diseases are coming. ನಾಮಕರಣ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಹೊಸದಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ. Some new disease which doctors cannot find out, they will name it. The other day I was just been to Apollo hospital, and doctor has put a note outside. There are so many fevers which are coming that which doctors are unable to trace it. So doctors are not held responsible for this. What the MBBS students study in their college, and when they come out and actually open the clinic or go to the hospital, the diseases will be different. What they learn is different, or what they have to give practically is different. Because by the time they finish and come, new things would have come. So this is how it's happening. Therefore, it is said that 75% of all illnesses are self-induced. We ourselves welcome diseases. We ourselves will do certain things which automatically invites diseases. That's why people started thinking of yoga. Just like when a bed star is given a manual, is also given the rules and regulations we have to follow. In the same way, when we got this body, when God created this body, along with that there's a manual called Vedas. If somebody starts following those rules and regulations properly, they can make use of the optimum use. But if somebody neglects, then this happens. Now this is connected to the body. Now yoga is not just connected only to the body, also people talk about the mind. Tension, anxiety, stress, which is also eating everybody's life. It is said that an average day, an average person runs about, you know how many thoughts he will get? 60,000 thoughts he gets. And most of these thoughts are random and unnecessary. Good thoughts come, no problem. But what we don't want, that only will come. That is the problem. Just like you are dealing with a computer. Every time a pop-up menu will come. Every time you have to say no. You become so disturbed. This is what is happening. And it is said, out of these many thoughts, 77% of everything we think is negative and works against us. We make one timetable, students will make a very nice timetable during their exams time. But timetable will remain that as just a table because they not get a time, or they cannot go with that time because mind starts dictating or gives so many reasons to postpone. Or it defeats them every time. So, because of these reasons, people think of yoga, because yoga deals with how to handle the body, how to handle the mind. But not only that, beyond that is also there the spiritual requirement also. But in general, so because of these reasons, there's an absolute need of practicing yoga. Now the second, what's the real meaning of the word yoga? What is yoga? The conventional understanding about yoga means they talk about some asana or pranayama. This is what generally people understand. The word yoga is derived from the Sanskrit word root called yuj, which means to link or to connect. This is the meaning of yoga. Now the next question is, link or connect to what? We said that yoga literally means it's a process of linking ourselves with God. This is the real meaning of yoga. There are three things here. First, it is a process. Second, it's a linking ourselves. And the third is with God. So literally, yoga means it's a process of linking ourselves with God. This is the true meaning of yoga. Now, what is the purpose and goal of yoga? Having understood the meaning, now what is the purpose and goal? Krishna explains in the Bhagavad Gita, the goal, the purpose of yoga is that Yogam Atma Vishuddhaye. Means, Yogada Guri Andre, purify one's heart from all contaminations. All the impurities which are there in the heart, to eliminate that. That's why Yogam Atma Vishuddhaye. Here it is said, Yogam Atma Vishuddhaye, not Yogam Deha Vishuddhaye, not Yogam Manas Vishuddhaye, Atma. Something beyond the body and the mind. To purify the heart, to purify the soul. This is the purpose of yoga. And the goal also Krishna explains in the same chapter. Tat vidyatukka samyoga viyogam yoga samhitam. The final goal of yoga is that come to trance as samadhi. Viyogam yoga samhitam. Constantly thinking. Constant thinking of what? Constant thinking of God. Whom do we have to think? Thinking of God. That's why viyogam. No other thinking other than thinking of the Lord. Without any deviation. Constantly remembering the Lord. This is the purpose of, this is the goal of yoga. Any yoga you may do. But finally you have to come to this point. This is the fourth thing about the different yoga systems. What are the different yoga systems which generally people follow? When Krishna talks about the four kinds of yoga system which are there. First is Karma Yoga, second Jnana Yoga, third Ashtanga Yoga, and the fourth is
Bhakti Yoga.
Bhakti Yoga. These are the four yogas. Now, conventionally, as I said, people, when we talk about yoga means, they talk about some asanas, some pranayama. This is what generally people understand. Padmasana, Vajrasana, Bhujangasana, Shavasana, lie like Shava. Because you cannot become Shava, at least you lie like that, undisturbed. Or some pranayama techniques. This is what. Now, most of the earlier ones do not involve asana, like Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, or even Bhakti Yoga. But still they are called yoga. Why? What is the meaning of yoga? The process of linking ourselves with God. Now, Ashtanga Yoga is just one of the many yoga systems. And Ashtanga, the very meaning, Ashtanga means 8 divisional yoga system. Generally, people follow Patanjali yoga system. Patanjali, when he has written the yoga system, there are 4 parts in that. In the second part of that Patanjali yoga system, when he has written, these divisions he has mentioned. First is yama, controlling the senses. Second, niyama, following the rules and regulations. And the third is asana, practicing the sitting postures. Now, if somebody wants to do any asana, Padmasana, Vajrasana, Bhujangasana, Dattasana, this asana, if any asana he has to do, the prerequisite is he should have passed the first two standards. One is yama, second is niyama. This is how Patanjali explains. Once you follow this, what will happen? Body will become, the body and the mind will be able to help you to do asana. You cannot directly jump to asana. The first two things one has to pass through. Now the fourth is pranayama. In pranayama, inhaling and exhaling, Shekara, so very we talk about. Pranayama is a very powerful method, very powerful process to rejuvenate ourselves. Now generally we see that as soon as we have our food, generally it happens. As soon as we complete our food, one thing happens to most people. After they have food, the moment they go and sit, what will happen? Like this. So after food, they feel sleepy. Why is it so? Generally after food you have, you have gained a lot of energy, so you should be very active. But it's the other way around it happens. After taking food, we feel sleepy. Generally what happens is when we take food, most of the energy, the cells which are carrying oxygen, what happens is they go and give strength to digest the food. Then what happens is the cells which are carrying oxygen, which are supposed to supply here to make us active, are here. So that is a time when we feel sleepy. Therefore, many people when they do pranayama, what pranayama does? You inhale at a particular ratio and exhale at a particular ratio. The more oxygen you take, that means the more cells you are taking inside. At that time, you will be nourished with extra energy. That's what pranayama does. So whenever people are feeling a little tired or not feeling very inspired, then they do little pranayama. Management also. People take short breaks. 1 hour, 2 hours. After 2 hours they take breaks and they do little pranayama because it doesn't have anywhere you can do. So they do this. So this is how pranayama helps. And then the fourth is pratyahara, abstaining the senses from sense enjoyment. Dharana, where they start concentrating on the Lord. Dhyana, complete meditation. And finally, samadhi, which is trance, completely linking oneself with the Lord. Now, anybody practices any of this part, generally when they come to asana and pranayama, they have to march forward to pratyahara, dharana, then come to samadhi. Not just by doing asana and pranayama, it's all in all. It will help. By doing asana, no doubt, yes, body will be fit. Pranayama, yes, body and mind will be fit. But what will you do after the body and mind is fit? Just like car is nicely taken care. But what will you do after that? Will you keep it in your house nicely? No. You have to use the car. So, the same way here, if somebody takes up this path, one has to move forward to the other things and finally come to Samadhi. Now, when these things are being spoken by Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna set certain rules and regulations before practicing it. If somebody has to practice this Ashtanga Yoga, there are rules out there, then only this will be effective. First, Krishna says one has to go to a secluded, sacred place. Second, lead a life of complete celibacy. Strict vow of brahmacharya, alone. Lay kusha grass on the ground. You want to do asana, pranayama and all those things? These are the rules. Sit alone in rigid posture. Not like this. Moving here and there. Rigid posture. Eyes half closed and half open eyes. Somewhere up there. I couldn't put the whole thing because it's a huge list. The half open eyes should see the tip of the nose and then remember the Lord within the heart. Like this, Krishna put so many conditions. If somebody wants to practice this Ashtanga Yoga, first is not in house, not in school, not in office, but in forest. Go to a sacred place. Like this, so many conditions Krishna puts. Now if we put all these conditions and ask, how many of us are willing to give this yoga system a try? How many of you want to try? No hands are going up. But we know these are all very difficult process. It's not really practical also. In fact, because of these reasons only, Krishna finally concludes in the same chapter, the 6th chapter of the Gita, where Krishna is telling all these things. The final verse, Krishna says, Yoginam api sarvesha madgatenam taratmana Shraddhava bhajate yoma sameyam tatamo matah. This is the final concluding verse in the Gita, especially in the 6th chapter of the Gita. Krishna is telling that of all yogis, the one with great faith who always abides in me, thinks of me within himself and renders transcendental loving service to me, he is the most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. And that is my opinion. This is the conclusion given by Krishna. One who thinks of him always and renders service to Krishna, he is the topmost yogi. That means Krishna is trying to bring out the thing that a devotee or a bhakti yogi is the topmost yogi. And in bhakti yoga, all other yoga systems are already included. Like karma yoga is already included in bhakti yoga. Jnana yoga already included in bhakti yoga. Ashtanga yoga already included in bhakti yoga. Karma yoga means you do your activities without getting attached to the result. But yoga means it becomes yoga when you do your activities for Krishna's pleasure. Jnana yoga means you understand that Krishna is the Supreme Lord and you surrender unto Him, you come to the point of understanding Krishna is Supreme. It's a culmination of Jnana. That's why Krishna says, Bahunam Janmanamante Jnanavan Prapadyate Vasudeva Sarvamiti Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. It's a culmination. Third, Ashtanga Yoga means practicing all these principles. Finally come to our Samadhi, constantly thinking of Krishna. That is automatically achieved in Bhakti. Once upon a time, Narada Muni went to Vrindavan to see how all the gopis there are feeling separation of Krishna. Because Krishna was in Dwaraka. He wanted to see how they are, what their condition is. Just he wanted to see their bhakti, what's their doing. So when Narada Muni went, he saw all the gopis in Vrindavan, they're sitting and doing dhyana. They're doing Ashtanga. One process, one of the process. They're sitting and doing dhyana. Narada Muni got very much surprised. What is this? You're all getting into, dhyana yoga. You're doing meditation. What is this? So when Narada Muni went, he saw all of them doing. In fact, he went and asked, "What is this you are doing? You're all sitting and doing meditation, dhyana. So your great devotees constantly engaged in Lord's service, but why you are doing all these things?" So that time the gopis told, in fact our minds are very much disturbed. That's why I am doing yoga. We are all sitting and doing yoga. Our minds are very much disturbed. So Narada Muni was thinking, oh maybe, Krishna has left and gone. But that's why they are very much disturbed. Just like it happens in the material world. If somebody is very close, suppose you have a friend who is very, very close, and he goes away without telling you anything, or he promises you that I'll do something for you, and he says tata bye bye when he goes to America. The parents, when they have a son, if he goes to America and he forgets, the mind's very much disturbed. So Narada Muni was thinking, maybe like that. That time the gopis said, no, actually no, why we are doing this asana, dhyana? Because we are so much disturbed that all the time Krishna is only coming in our mind. So we are doing yoga to forget Krishna. So much we are disturbed all the time, Krishna is only coming, so we want to forget Krishna, that's why you are doing yoga. So dhyana we are doing. Of course our case is exactly opposite. When we want to think of Krishna, every other person will come except that personality who has to come. So our biggest struggle is to bring that object and keep all other objects aside. This is our difficulty. But the gopis never was like that. So anyway, coming back, so this is what Krishna is saying, concluding the particular chapter. Now the fifth, the last, the best yoga system for this age. Which is the best yoga system? Now different yoga practices were recommended for different yugas. Now this is a verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam. It says, Kriteya Dhyayato Vishnu Tretayam Yajato Makaihi Dvapare Paricharyayam Kalau Tat Hariketanat. Now in the Krita Yuga, which is also called Satya Yuga, the meditation on the Lord Vishnu, especially the Ashtanga Yoga process, was recommended. that time, Satya Yuga means 100% truth. It is also called as Hamsa Yuga, 100% truth. Everyone naturally was inclined towards Vishnu. Naturally. And the lifespan during that time was almost 1 lakh years. People were naturally God conscious. There was no vices at that time. People were pure in their heart. Dealings was very pure. Everything was pure. So during during that yuga, the meditation process, dhyana, was recommended. But as the yuga passed by, what happened was, slowly impurities started cropping up in people's heart. So that time they were not able to practice this yoga of constantly thinking. Then came Treta Yuga, wherein the lifespan of a person is reduced from 1 lakh to 10,000 years. Because of the less in lifespan. Second, because of the impurities, the meditation on Lord Vishnu, especially the Ashtanga, mainly the dhyana, was not recommended. So that time people adopted a process of linking oneself with the Lord through performing homa, sacrifices. Of course, this homa used to go on for thousands of years. They used to get tons and tons of ghee. Today when you do homa, little ghee also they will think. Because very expensive. So that time people. And moreover, people can able to sit and do homa for so many years. Now people have very less patience. When you call somebody on homa in the Panni and Thandra, Yeshkante Mugiyate. Ekana Mughal Pele Homada Nijavada, phala sigadu. Because any homa you do, the end of homa is you have to distribute prasada. And when you don't distribute prasada, if you simply do homa, Krishna says that doesn't really benefit a person who does homa. One has to distribute prasada. So people don't have patience. Satnayana puja madavaru saha mugita kediskolbe kathe mugita kathe kedudrene benefit nimige. So pujari helutare telistare because if you want to get benefit you have to sit in here. So very difficult. So anyway, in Treta Yuga, that's why people adopted. That time they could able to do. Then came Dwapar Yuga, elaborate temple worship. The lifespan even reduced to 1,000 years. People could not able to do dhyana at that time. People could not able to do sacrifices at that time. And that time, the best process of linking oneself with God, purify their heart and constantly think of the Lord. The best means which they adopted was build big temples, establish huge deities, big deities, and then you worship the deity. That was a process recommended in Dwapar Yuga. Now we have crossed all these yugas. Now we are in Jet Yuga. Now we are in Kali Yuga. Now Kali Yuga, the lifespan has even more reduced. Generally we said 100 years. Now because of less lifespan and too much of impurities. From 100% pure, it became 75% in Treta Yuga. Dwapar Yuga it became 50-50. In Kali Yuga it is 25-75 actually we say. 25 good and 75 impurities. But still the age where we are seeing, we can easily make out that the impurities are so much. So therefore here in this age, the best process recommended in the Vedic literature is chanting the holy names of God. This is the best and the simple means. Now there are many scripture references for this. Dvapare Janair Vishnu Pancharatraistu Kevalai Kalautu Nama Matrena Ujjate Bhagavan Harihi. This is in Narayana Samhita. In the age of Kali, people should simply chant the holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What benefit a person could able to get in Satya Yuga for practicing dhyana for hundreds of years, thousands of years, one can get simply by chanting in Kali Yuga. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Iti Shodashaka Namnam Kali Kalpashanashanam Nata Bharataropaya Sarvavedeshu Drishyate. After searching through all the Vedic literatures, one cannot find a method of religion more sublime for this age than the chanting of the Mahamantra. Many mantras are there, but Hare Krishna mantra is called as a Mahamantra. There are no hard and fast rules. Anytime, any place, anywhere a person can chant. This is the beauty of the Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Nama, Iva Kevalam, Kalau Nasteva, Gatiranyata. This is also there in the Brahmanadiya Purana. This is what Lord Chaitanya has to quote many times. In this age of violent hypocrisy, the only means to deliverance is the chanting of the holy names of the Lord. There is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way. Prabhupada has to tell many times, 3 times it is stressed here. No other way, no other way, no other way. Just like in the court, the judge says, order, but remains as an order. So here, the same way Shastra is saying 3 times, Nasteva. Krishna also mentions in the Gita, Yagnanam Japayagnosmi, of sacrifices, I am the chanting of the holy names. This is the most simplest, sublime process recommended for this age. Now what are the benefits of chanting? Generally people always ask, what are the benefits? Series of benefits are there, few things are listed here, I'll just share. One is the freedom from the reactions of sin. Whatever one has committed, knowingly or unknowingly, one can become immune from all those things simply by chanting. Relief from unwanted drives and habits, the wrong habits a person has cultivated, automatically it can be driven away by one good habit of chanting every day. Peace of mind, the real happiness, experience of that. Freedom from anxiety, which has enveloped everybody in this world. One can become free from these things. Now, all of you have heard of the Ford cars. Many own that. Albert Brush Ford, he is the owner of the Ford Motors. He is one of the disciples of Srila Prabhupada. In fact, he and his wife, both are devotees. They chant this Hare Krishna mantra every day. They practice these principles every day at their home. And when he was asked, what do you feel about chanting Hare Krishna? He said, chanting Hare Krishna has made a tremendous impact in my life. Where you could able to face all the challenges. He also has such a big responsibility of handling many companies, many people. But one thing which he does right during the day is this: associating with God, linking oneself with God, wherein you become so much empowered, where you can able to deal in any situation. Now, chanting Hare Krishna mantra is a process. It is also helps to get the one's purpose is automatically covered and the goal is also achieved. As I told you in the beginning, the meaning of yoga is process of linking ourselves with God. By chanting, one will automatically link with God. The purpose of yoga is, I already shared with you the purpose and the goal. The purpose is to purify our hearts. Now when a person starts chanting, associating with God, automatically his heart becomes purified. And the third, the goal is thinking of God. One automatically develops the love of God just by chanting Krishna's name. So by this, automatically one can achieve. So in short, yoga is not renunciant and go to Himalaya. Generally people think yoga ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಹಿಮಾಲಯ ಹೋಗಬೇಕು. It's not the goal or the purpose of yoga. Yoga is not mere physical exercise for shaping body. Nice body shape, nice fit. This is not the goal of yoga. It's not just meant for that. No doubt body has to be taken care, but that's not. Generally people when they practice yoga, you go and ask them. Mainly they do yoga to keep the body fit. To stay, look young. Somebody is almost 70 plus, and if he looks little healthy and all, they'll say, ನಾನು ಯೋಗ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ನೋಡಿ ಬರೀ 25 ವರ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. I am doing yoga. That is not the goal of yoga. For good health and better sense gratification. Body is fit, mind is fit. But what will you do with that? Or many times even if a person practices yoga so seriously to avoid all the diseases, but if karma is very bad, he will definitely get roga. He may be doing yoga to avoid roga. But if karma is so bad, definitely you get roga. No matter whatever you do. That's why we see people who are too much angry, they will have low BP. People who are very mild, they don't, become angry. Such people have hypertension. ಅಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ಕೋಪನೇ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಲ್ಲ, BP machine problem ಇರಬೇಕಾ? People start wondering, God, I never seen you becoming angry, then how is it you have such a high BP? Karma is bad. It can. So no doubt, one can do all these things, but parallelly, one should also depend on the Lord. Sometimes you may see devotees also doing a part of this yoga system. But devotees always understand when they are doing this, any of other practices of yoga, they want to keep this car fit, body fit for the purpose. Just like a vehicle is meant for reaching the destination, because life is a journey. Everyone accepts that life is a journey. So we have to reach our destination. So for that, one maintains the body nicely. So to keep the body and the soul fit, devotee maintain. But the purpose is never forgotten. Not just to improve the lifespan. People want to increase the lifespan. What is the use of having a long lifespan without God conscious? What is the use? Trees are also living long. What is the use? Much better is less lifespan with better God conscious life. That is much better. That's why Kali Yuga is a very blessing in disguise it is. Blessing in disguise is for very less time only we have to practice this. But we can achieve that. So not to get some mystic siddhis. There are so many siddhis which people get by practicing the Ashtanga Yoga system. Anima, Lagima, all those things are mentioned. So yoga is not just a bunch of some asanas, some postures, some pranayama. It's not like that. Yoga is not for long existing, but it is for exiting from this cycle of birth and death. This is the purpose. That's why it is said, human life is very, very rare. Labdva sudurlabham bahu sambhavante. After many, many lifetimes, one gets, passing through so many species, one gets a human life. Now, having got this, one has to take up this process seriously and permanently exit from this world where continuous repetition of birth and death goes on. No matter whatever asana we do, no matter whatever yoga we do, but one has to exit from here. So this is actually the purpose. Now this is what Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu preached, and also Srila Prabhupada when he was in America, or before going to America. His godbrothers were thinking, what title we can give to Swamiji? Some title we have to give. ಏನಾದರೂ ಬಿರುದು ಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಪ್ರಭುಪಾದರಿಗೆ, ಏನು ಕೊಡೋದು ಅವರಿಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟೊಂದು, ಎಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಲರ್ನೆಡ್, he knows all the shastra, what title we can give? They were thinking. That time they thought, we should give one title to him. This holds good. And that title Srila Prabhupada got was Bhakti Vedanta. And the title says, Vedanta means the goal of all Veda, Anta, the end of all Veda is Bhakti. And this is what Swamiji is going to preach. And that's what Prabhupada did by traveling all over the globe 14 times. Even one round to go around is so difficult. But Prabhupada traveled all over the globe 14 times, of course, with the purpose mainly to preach this, the topmost yoga system called Bhakti. And literally he made it possible by making people chant Krishna's holy name. That's why once somebody asked Prabhupada, so that time Prabhupada said this, we are trying to give people that happiness which will never be exhausted, and that is the objective of happiness. So this is what Srila Prabhupada said. So, as I said about the chanting of Hare Krishna mantra, so all of you also can chant, and Prabhupada always said one tag, after chanting Hare Krishna, you will get something. Chant and? Huh?